What's this 432 tuning about? Most Western music today is tuned with the standard reference pitch of A4 equals 440 Hz. But there is an alternative 432 tuning resonating in some circles at a slightly lower pitch of A4 equals 432 Hz. If you've come across 432, it's probably been associated with New Age or wellness forums and claims that the frequency resonates with the universe. I first heard about 432 many years ago and thought I would check in to see if it was still a thing. Unlike alternate guitar tunings and other systems like just intonation, different reference tunings don't change intervals. Everything is just shifted up or down in pitch. Conspiracies, coincidences, and the cosmos. I found my head spinning while researching this topic as it opened up many different rabbit holes. Not so much conspiracies, but more like a combination of fascinating facts, frustrating loose ends, and some questionable gaps which made it difficult to pull together the different threads. The number 432 is a recurring element across various religions and mythologies, and is notable in mathematical contexts. Related to the mystery of 432 is the base 60 number system. While originating in ancient Mesopotamia, we still use the base 60 system today. For example, you might say that you went for a 5-kilometer run this morning, but if you were out sailing on the seas, you would be navigating with nautical miles. We also use base 60 for time and space measurements. 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour. Seconds in a day, 86,400, multiple of 432. Diameter of sun in miles, 864,000. Moon is 2,160 miles, multiples of 432. Precession of the equinox, 25,920 years, divided by 60 equals 432. The speed of light is 186,000 miles per second, close to 432 squared. Interesting, but what has this got to do with music? Okay, deep breath. We're moving into the sphere of sonic geometry. This video, Sonic Geometry, the language of frequency and form, demonstrates how basic two-dimensional shapes are linked to particular frequencies based on the total of their internal angles. For example, a square or circle, 360 Hz, sounds like an F sharp, and a pentagon, 540 Hz, a C sharp. The internal angles of these shapes always reduce to the number 9, as do the internal angles of the 5 three-dimensional platonic solids, for example. A cube, 2,160 Hz. Just for fun, I asked AI, what does a circle sound like? And it answered in its typical pedestrian manner, a circle being a geometric shape, does not produce a sound. Bless. Though it was more accommodating when I modified the question slightly and it brought up synesthesia. This is where I find things start to get a little iffy and confusing. These geometric frequency numbers map onto a factor 9 grid, shown in the video, which in turn is based on A4 equals 432 Hz. Also see Adam Neely's video linked in the following section. What does 432 music sound like compared to 440? Guitarist Paul Davids has tackled this comparison. If you close your eyes, the guitar playing starts at 420. You can do an A/B test with the 6 song excerpts. I watched this with eyes open. My first impression was that 432 seemed to be flatter and expectation bias, and 440 brighter. As more songs were played, I sensed 432 to be more mellow while 440 started to sound slightly harsh. This was particularly the case with Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here, as it was the song I was most familiar with, and play on guitar myself. Returning to our sonic geometry adventure, musician Adam Neely demonstrates the limitations of using the 432 factor 9 grid in playing actual music. With his piano tuned to these frequencies, some sounds are quite pleasing or interesting, while others sound off. Do popular artists release music in 432? Musician Childish Gambino's psychedelic funk song, Redbone, is tuned to 432 Hz. I couldn't find any other official artist releases in this lower tuning, but there are a number of well-known songs that have been converted to 432 by fans, including Phil Collins' In the Air Tonight, Kansas Dust in the Wind, and Metallica Nothing Else Matters. What does the science say? There have been a few scientific studies in recent years comparing the lower tuning standard with today's concert pitch. One research study in 2019 showed a statistically significant decrease in heart rate when subjects listened to 432 Hz music, though the sample size was small, 33. Another study in 2020 on 12 patients with spinal cord injuries showed that after listening to music at 432 Hz, there was a significant improvement in sleep scores but no improvement when listening to music at 440 Hz. It looks like larger studies would be useful in gathering more data on this topic, but I found the frequency/geometry association a little flaky, and there are different types of 432 tuning systems floating around which seem to move us away from 432, just being an alternative reference tuning method. Congratulations if you've watched this far and also survived the influence of our evil overlords who introduced 440 tuning last century to lure us away from the true cosmic order.